We select a lot of people beginning in the auditions, but finally we also make sure that the show, it's our duty to make sure that the whole of India is represented.
Terence, let me, मैं जब research कर रही थी dance के ऊपर, so I found a very nice one line that dance is a poem of which each movement is a word. How do you define dance in your own words?
See, let's put it this way. Everything dances in the universe. Okay? Every cell in your body is moving. Okay? You don't know it because it's so subtle. And then there is people who are gross in their dancing. You can see the movement. Even walking is a dance. Even moving your body, to think, even doing this with your hands is in a certain way dance. It can become a dance if you know the artistry behind it, if you know the skill behind it. Okay, and especially in Kathak, so we always use the kalaiya, correct? So or in flamenco, for example, where you kind of you do the sevias. Okay. So dance is very difficult to define. I'd also say dance is almost it's almost akin to life. Everything dances, anything that moves, and even when you're still, there is some movement internally that's happening. So I think dance is everywhere. Okay, it's in the cosmos. It's a part of the mix of the matrix. And I think you just have to find your way of dancing in this matrix in a way that can resonate with you. I think dancing when I started dancing, for me, it was a way to be on stage. I loved the stage. It gave me an opportunity to be on stage. So, I became very addictive to stage because it was such a powerful place to be. And, because people were appreciating you and clapping for you. So when I grew up as a child, dance for me, meant different things, meant, affirmation, love, acceptance, applause. Then later, as I started earning from dance, it became a way of, financial independence. So it moved from being just applause to becoming, from between 16 to 27, 28, I would say, was a time where I used dance to make myself financially stable. So dancing was not just for applause, but also became a way of, getting financial independence. And through that also gave me a certain kind of a persona and a personality. So I'm very grateful for that. But I think when I discovered contemporary dance, I realized the beauty of what dance really means. And I met some amazing teachers who were teachers not for dance, but were teachers for life. Of course, they were dance teachers, but they had another approach to dance. And they introduced me to the beautiful aspect of contemporary dance, which is very organic, very, very touching to your emotion, very personal. And I think that changed it for me. And they always said, what I had learned the American way was, always in either modern or in jazz. It's always like you're showing off. But in contemporary dance, you never put your chin up. You really are normal. You're very grounded. There is a certain kind of a beauty about it. And, that is something that for me really touched me. So I went from, wanting applause to going to, having financial independence to it being my way of fame. And then I realized, I need to dance just for myself, for me. And use the dance, use the music, use the beat, use it to physically, emotionally, intellectually, consume me. And that started happening much later in life. And I think that's the journey for everybody, because we start learning dance for various reasons. And then, there comes a point where you go a little bit more deeper and you have amazing teachers who take you on another path. And they show you that what dance could actually be. And I'm happy that I met those kind of teachers, especially in the Impulse Dance Festival. And, I continue to, get inspired by certain people and how they move. It's really like, for me, they are not just dancers or performers, they're artists. And they're artists of another level, almost godlike. So that's what it is for me.
आप चुम्मेश्वरी जज के नाम से जाने जाते हैं. आप जब उस जज की सीट में बैठते हैं, and when you're watching these extremely talented youngsters, boys and girls, what goes in your mind when you're making a selection of top 10 and then here comes the winner, the whole journey? How is that journey? कैसी है वो journey आपकी as a judge?
Well, it's been a great journey for me being a judge. Honestly, I've always been teaching, Neeta. Before even I started dancing, I started to teach. So it was very funny. At the age of 17 or 18, I started to teach, go house to house and teach. And then I started my academy also. So just before I became a television judge, I've been teaching for almost 10 to 12 years. And when you teach and when you have a company and when you lead somebody, what happens is that you are constantly उनको सिखा रहे हो, constantly समझा रहे हो, constantly परख रहे हो. तो आपकी पाकी नजर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है अगर आप एक टीचर हो, क्योंकि आप उनको पर्सनल करेक्शंस देते हो. आप उनको बहुत गौर से देखना पड़ता है कि वो क्या सही कर रहे हैं, क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से वो सुधार सकते हैं. So as a judge, that is the role I play. I don't play so much as a role of a judge. I look at myself as somebody who's a teacher, somebody who's a guide, who's a mentor. And I would say that is my right name more than a judge. Judge is just a very harsh word. I prefer a word called mentor because I think what I do is, I believe that everybody is working hard and they need mentorship and they need to know where they stand. Now, being technically sound from most judges, in comparison that have been around, it gives me the advantage to look at their craft and say, okay, this is what you can possibly do well and you are doing well, and this is how you can improve what you're not doing well. Regarding top selection of how I am able to select people, it's basically purely on instinct and gut. More importantly, currently what we look at is, okay, what is the skill level of this dancer? Second is, how is he being able to connect with the music and the lyrics and translate it into an emotion which is, coming to us. Third is we also look at, okay, where is he coming from? Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that, we have on our top 10, we select a lot of people beginning in the auditions, but finally we also make sure that the show, it's our duty to make sure that the whole of India is represented and not all people from Mumbai or Delhi, because that will be the place where we get maximum number of good dancers. So sometimes we let go of some good dancers of Bombay and Delhi and pick up some people who are probably, really struggling but still seem to have great amount of talent. It's just they need guidance. So we look at some people who have the potential and some who are already trained, because today's generation, everybody seems to kind of, have that basic training already within them. So we're looking at people who are, good technical dancers, who have great, capability of presenting the art form of what they have trained in, but also they should be great performers because TV looks at performance. Sometimes you can be a very technically sound dancer, but very boring for TV. And I'm not talking about their sob stories. I'm talking about performing their craft. I've known so many great dancers who are excellent technical dancers, but they're just not great performers. So they don't translate very well on television. They're unable to connect with themselves and they're unable to connect with the audience. So it takes a lot to be a performer. So we're looking for performance quality. We're looking for the ease in which he dances. We don't want to see somebody struggling and putting too much effort and doing too much. We want to see people who are able to breathe in their dance, who are able to kind of connect with their eyes and with their emotion and say something without moving all the time. So there's a lot that goes into it, and also where they come from, which cities they come from. That makes a lot of difference because we want to make sure that, we have to maintain the, overall make selection, making sure that every state at least is represented. Not every state, but mostly all the states, the zones, north, south, east, west. And that's how we go about doing it. And of course, we have two other capable judges also who are always there, who also may agree, may not agree. So it's basically a gut feeling when somebody dances on stage, how it makes you feel. And that's how I always believed it. And, coupled with a certain amount of experience, you come to know whether this person can really make the cut or not.
See, Terence, I have noticed because I love reality shows. रियलिटी शोज मेरे फेवरेट शोज हैं, डांस एंड म्यूजिकल एंड ऑल दैट. आपके जब शोज हम देखते हैं ना, आप सिर्फ उन डांसर्स को नहीं हेल्प कर रहे हैं. आई डोंट नो इफ यू रियलाइज इट, यू आर हेल्पिंग मिलियंस ऑफ दोज dancers who are trying to be somewhere in their lives by giving those technical advices to them. क्योंकि वो जो बहुत बारीकी के आप एडवाइस देते हैं ना उन्हें, जो डांस सीख रहे हैं, you are helping them a lot.
I have to say this, Neeta, that in the last 2-3 years, the judging a show hasn't become easy, because I personally feel that if I'm on that chair and I'm judging somebody with such insane talent, I should know what style he's doing. I should know the history of that style. I should be able to kind of relate and give him the right conclusion of whether he did well or not. So in the last few years, I've had to update myself insanely. Like, I have gone and watched every battle that happens. I watch a lot on internet. I follow a lot of great dancers in all styles, be it hip hop, classical, contemporary. I'm constantly watching great people in different styles apart from mine, just to be able to understand, okay, this is great and this is not so great. Because when you go on television and as a judge of a show, it's very important that you're able to kind of talk to them in their own language, tell them that why they can do something better or not.